Hello Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising. These are your messages for December. And the very first card that we have coming up for you as your underlying energy is the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands, it talks about something that you've been doing for a while now. Something that may have left you feeling kind of battered, bruised, exhausted even. You've been hanging on, you're digging deep, you're trying to get this, whatever it is, done. I mean, Wands, it's fire energy, so it's usually your energy. Well, not usually, it is your energy. Wands is fire energy. But what this talks about is not giving up, not being ready to give up. Now, when we get that exhausted, when we get to a place where we're not sure what we're doing even anymore, it can be how much longer do I have to keep going? But it's a 9. You're almost at the end. 10s are the completions of cycles, and this says you're almost there, and it doesn't feel like you are ready to give up. There is that kind of sense. It comes up later on as well, but I'll talk about it when I get there. Now, at the heart of your reading, you have justice. Justice is coming up here. Justice is about fairness. It's about balance. It's the card for Libra, which is your opposite sign. This is about, compensation, fairness, balance, that, it's equally distributed, bringing balance to those scales. This can be about making amends. So some of you may be fighting for justice. You may be waiting on justice. Others of you, amends can be made, obviously, via the legal system, but it can also be apologies. I sometimes see this card as apologies that come in for either we have to make amends for something that we've done, or someone else is making amends to us for what has happened. It's kind of interesting that those two come up, especially when we have a look at what's coming up as a past energy, and we have the moon here. Now, the moon, it's a card of confusion, where when we look around us, things are not as they seem. And, it may be, for me, this is a card that talks about, going on faith often, not everything's revealed, right? So there's shadows everywhere. So if to proceed forward, to go forward, we have to go on faith. Even though we can't see what's out there in the shadows, we have to go on faith. It is a card of illumination as well. I do see it as a card of illumination, like the sun. But it's oftentimes not what is shown to us that's important. It's what's not shown to us. So this card does tell us about, because we can't trust what's around us, because we're so confused. It says you have to trust your intuition at this time, because that's the only place that we get answers from. So now, if we're looking at this card, if things have been confusing, if, you've not had answers, you've not known what's going on, because it's about illumination and what's in the shadows. Maybe you've done some shadow work. Maybe you've been looking at your fears. What are my fears in this situation? It's kind of strange saying that to Aries, because you guys are pretty fearless in most situations. But hey, you're human, right? Everyone has fears. And what we have coming up, with this, the Nine of Wands, is this why you're so exhausted? You've been doing something for so long on faith. You've been going, even though things haven't been revealed to you, even though you've not known what's out there in the shadows, you've still been at your post. You've still been doing what needs to be done. And, this is where you're waiting for the completion of that cycle. Wands, like I said, are to do, it's fire energy. That's our passions, the energy that we put out into the world. It can be, you may have been struggling at work. You may have been trying to get justice. So in that case, what's justice going to mean? It's going to mean getting the rewards that you're due, getting the justice. Maybe you felt like you've been passed over for promotion and you want that justice. In a relationship that, you've not been heard. You've been fighting for a relationship, or you've been pushing forward in your love life in some way, even if you're single. And you're waiting to see, is justice done? That, even though that moon energy's been there, even though things have been confusing, even though you've been digging deep to kind of keep going with that Nine of Wands energy, it feels like, you're still kind of waiting for justice to be done. And what I love about this, that, look at this guy, he's got a little bandage on his head. He kind of looks a little forlorn, right? I'm assuming it's a guy. No, actually, it's a woman. But yeah, he's, kind of waiting there, defending this Gate of Wands. We have the King of Wands coming up as a present energy. Now, this is most likely your energy. Wands, like I said, as fire energy, that's Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And the King of Wands, he's very confident. This is about being confident, about being independent, about having, you can rely on yourself, because the King and Queen of Wands, they both know how to get what they want. They know how to get what they want. I mean, the King of Wands, I always think he's very attractive. Like, and what does attractive mean? It doesn't just mean like physically beautiful. It's being able to attract to you what you want. Wands are always the energy of manifestation. And the King of Wands, he's that, I always think of him as that guy that, he walks into a room and all eyes are on him, no matter what he's dressed like, no matter what he looks like. It's that charisma, that kind of larger than life energy, and it's fire energy. So now you may be in the energy of this. Now, if it's not you, you may be presented with someone or dealing with someone who comes in like this, someone who kind of, if this is someone that comes into your life, you're very attracted to them. Like, there's this very attractive energy, or if it's your energy, like I said, that, you'll have that. You kind of feel more confident now. You kind of have a way of knowing what you want and how to get it. That's the main thing with the King and Queen of Wands. They know what they want and they know how to get it. There's no kind of dispute. They know how to get what they want. Now, that's going to be interesting energy to come up, especially if we've had this in the past, right? Because this is where there's been confusion. There's been confusion here. And I can't really see the King of Wands needing to do this for a while. So if some of you have been like digging deep to kind of get back to restore your energy, it feels like that happens in December. If not, if this is you and you've been waiting on someone like this, their energy is showing up. Their energy is showing up in the present. Now, if this is not a romantic, I mean, it could be someone that shows up romantically. And the other thing I will say to you is that, it's a general reading. So oftentimes, like, the energies, if they're not around, they could be the energies of someone who's very central to our story at this time. So, I mean, if this is not a romantic situation, this may be a work situation, in which case this is the boss. This is, this can be the boss energy. And so this is finally, they kind of, you get their attention. You get the attention of the boss. Now, I'm going to stick with the work angle for a moment and I'll get back to the romance one. If it's work, if you've been waiting for a promotion, if you've been waiting for justice, it kind of feels like, you'd get the justice in that you may get the promotion, because the Nine of Wands, whenever the Nine of Wands shows up, for me, that's an energy that says, you're almost there. That, when it shows up, that what you want will very quickly come in, because the 10 follows. That's the completion of that cycle. However, you have the 5 of Pentacles coming up as a future energy. So this can often feel like, it's a struggle. Now, the kind of traditional meanings of this card are, feeling left out in the cold, feeling kind of excluded. It's the poverty card. So it's like emotional poverty or financial poverty. The reason I'm not really seeing that here, I'm seeing this more as a struggle. There's a struggle ahead. And that, I know you guys are going to be thinking, what? More struggling? I've been hanging in there. Why is this? And it feels to me like it's based off of something that you reject. Like there could be something that's offered to you and you don't want it. Now, why do I say that? Well, we always see these two out in the cold, right? And there is this sanctuary behind them. There's usually a church that's depicted, and they can go in there, but they choose not to. There could be like a difference of opinion. And it kind of feels like with this, so you have to look at all the cards together. With the King of Wands coming up first, and with, him knowing what he wants. It's a king, right? It's not like it's a page. It's not like it's a knight. It's the king. He has mastery over his suit. So he knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. So yeah, he would very well reject something. If it's not the right amount of money, if it's not, something that is in line with what he wants, that's not what he wants. So he will reject it. Now, for others of you, this is a relationship. You may start off the month feeling kind of more confident. This shows that, the thing with this is there's 2 people. There are 2 people in this card. So if you've been having problems in a relationship, if that confusion, the Moon card, has been regarding a relationship, if that justice that you're waiting for is regarding a relationship, and justice also, it shows contracts. It can be marriages, it can be divorces as well, because it's like, legal matters. It may be that this, with the Five of Pentacles, I mean, it's going to work out for so many of you in so many different ways. But with that Five of Pentacles, let's put the King of Wands down. With the Five of Pentacles underneath, it may be that, you don't get exactly what you want. Like, you'll get justice, but you don't get exactly the financial payout that you wanted. Or, what's the other thing? I don't really do finance readings, so I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not equipped to do those kinds of readings. But it may also be that, it's a struggle. That's the thing I see in relationships, that you get justice, because justice is a strong, powerful statement. It's a great card. It's also about karmic balance, right? It talks about balancing the karmic scales. So it may be that you get that happens, but it kind of leaves, yes, but the two people are still together. They're not alone, they're together. And so if there have been problems, it's like, yes, the two of us will see it through together. We get through this together. Now, the other reason that I'm kind of giving that, and like, I get accused all the time that you're too positive, or I don't give the kind of down and like low down and dirty kind of meanings of the cards. But you've got this Five of Pentacles sat not just with the King of Wands before it. You have the King of Cups coming after it. You have two kings either side of the Five of Pentacles, and that is going to change that meaning of the Five of Pentacles. So this may be like, yes, this can indicate someone who's maybe a little bit overly confident, but the King of Cups, this is someone who's very caring, very nurturing. He's very emotional. And it's loving, caring, nurturing energy, very spiritual energy as well. So it may be that, even if you don't get exactly what you want, the love is there. That's what I'm kind of getting with this. For some of you, it's going to be the situation of, it's some difficult situation that you're seeing through. Could be to do with whatever this justice. You'll get justice. It feels like a double-edged sword. Now, it may be, and I've been saying this to all the previous signs readings that I've done before you as well. Mercury is retrograde for much of December. Now that Mercury will throw a spanner in the works. So it may be that even if you've been working towards something, this might be forcing you to kind of re-look at it. Like, what is it that you've been putting so much effort into? With this Nine of Wands, what have you been putting so much effort into? And this could be that energy of that it's still a struggle. It feels like it's a struggle, but there's still support here. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's a work situation, whatever it is, you're not alone in it. There's someone in it with you, at least one other person, because you see two people here, but yeah. And so the King of Cups, I didn't even talk about him, but this is the crowning energy, this is the advice. And what is it with the King of Cups? The King of Cups has emotional maturity. Like, he has mastery over his emotions, and he knows exactly how he feels. Now, look at the difference. What is the difference between, why is he coming up here? Well, we have the moon above this. So one thing you can be sure of, like when the King of Cups shows up underneath the moon's confusion, not knowing what to see, not knowing what to believe, not knowing what's happening. He knows. He doesn't always show his emotions. So, he can kind of not show them. I often see this. This can be someone who's in love with someone, but he's not ready to say it just yet. Or he's, that just came to me actually. For some of you, it may be that, you've got this kind of an energy that comes up, which is very much like your energy, meeting of the minds, whether this is your energy or someone else's. And then it's almost as if that person feels like they don't have enough to offer. They don't have enough to offer the other person. And so they may hold back on how they feel. So it's going to play out differently. The energies are the energies. They always play out differently for each of us. But the King of Cups is about that. He knows how he feels. He's not like the King of Swords. The King of Swords would just detach from his emotions. But the King of Cups, he knows how he feels. He just chooses when to reveal that. He doesn't reveal it straight away. So I always say still waters run deep with the King of Cups. But he knows how he feels, and when he is ready to say how he feels, he will explain fully. He will tell you exactly how he feels. So I like the King of Cups underneath the moon, because it says that, where there was confusion before, now there isn't. There's certainty here. But it's that Five of Pentacles. I would just say that, it feels like it's a bit of a struggle, but I think it's more that I feel it's a choice. When you have two kings either side, I don't see the kings as going to that five energy. And fives are always, I always call them the agents of chaos. They are there to cause change, to cause transformation. That's what the whole point of the fives are. And so whatever the situation is, it feels like you may be offered. And the other message of the the five of pentacles, I hope I haven't been saying five of wands. The five of pentacles is that a helping hand is available, but it's up to you whether you want it or not. But yeah, I usually don't give such a positive message for the five of pentacles, but it is the fact that it's sat between two kings that kind of lends it more stability and more like it's much more of a stable energy than it usually would be, and it kind of feels like it's taking you to the next step to help you to see something, especially with justice sat above it as well.